this time to talk about the trends to watch out for in 2023. And this time you will be joined by Ryan Wang of Big Time Studios. We have Mary Ma of Mix Marvel. And Junie Koo of AO Labs.
Thank you very much again to our lovely panel. We're just waiting for the lovely lady to join us as well. But for this panel, guys, we'll be talking about, of course, the trends that you guys should look out for into the coming year. So as we saw last year, Play to Earn Gaming really changed a lot of lives, especially for us here into the Philippines. And to be joined by some of the most awaited for games and people behind Web3 is going to be awesome. So let me introduce our first panel for this afternoon. So he is the co-founder and CEO of AO Labs, an open source software development platform where communities from different apps can connect. He is also a former co-founder and head of development of Block Crafters, a digital asset company in Asia. Let's welcome onto the stage, Junie Koo. Hi, Johnny. Would it be possible to introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, I'm Junie Koo. Actually, I was in Manila for a panel in 2018 with Jiho. It's kind of like bringing back a lot of memories. It was my first encounter to a blockchain game like founder in 2018. So it's great to see Manila has become the epicenter of crypto gaming and blockchain gaming. So congrats on everyone here if you're from Manila. To briefly introduce, I've been in I've been in mobile game business since 2006, leading global business at Come To Us. Leading most of the transition from featured phone games to smartphone games. And in 2017, somebody introduced me to Ethereum, and then it was a wow moment because like it resonated with me, like running into the CEO's office at Come To Us with an iPod Touch saying this is going to be the future of gaming. And then there's another moment, like in 2017, when I introduced to Ethereum. So from then on, I was digging into a lot of blockchain gaming ideas. And as I was working for Block Crafters, which is the biggest digital asset management company in Korea, now I'm pursuing a lot of the ideas I had around blockchain games with AO Labs. One more thing, I am also the CEO and co-founder for SkyGG, which is the sub-DAO for YGG.
Wow, that is awesome. You were mentioning 2018. Is this during the time you guys are giving NFTs for free? Like, I remember Jiho gave away like a free Mystic Axie and no one wanted it back then, right? I remember someone telling me about it earlier.
Yeah, so I think what I heard from dinner like this week was Jiho gave 3 Axies to Gabby, and Gabby started playing Axies.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's 2018.
That was way, way earlier. All right, thank you so much, Junie. And now, I would like to introduce another amazing person right beside me. He is the director at Big Time Studios, a Web3 gaming startup that is building the next generation AAA games in the Web3 space. Big Time secured a $10 million funding during their Series A round. And aside from that, this man beside me has built a marketing agency in 2019. Let's welcome the Director of Growth of Big Time Studios, Ryan Yang. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing?
They're doing good. We're pretty excited to meet you here. So I know that Big Time Studios actually recruited quite a lot of huge names in the AAA gaming industry. You guys were behind a lot of games that are by Blizzard, by Riot, and you guys are doing such an amazing job. Would you like to tell more about your company to our audience?
Yes, so in case you guys don't know, Big Time is founded by Ari Malic. He is also the founder of Decentraland. So originally, Big Time was actually supposed to be an extension of Decentraland, but when he turned it into a DAO, he decided to make Big Time much bigger. And the rest of the team, like you said, they come from AAA gaming studios. Matt Tonks, he's one of the pivotal game engineers for Fortnite. And our CMO, Michael Migliero, he built a DSP and he sold it to Machine Zone. And that's the creators of Game of War, if you guys have played that.
That is amazing. We're looking forward to hearing more about the game you guys are developing. But that's not all. We also have 2 more guests to join us on stage. Oh, could we get them another chair? That's awesome. All right, the man walking up into the stage right now is the Chief Scientific Officer at Farsana and the head of Farsana Labs. Besides that, he is also a professor of AI and robotics at the National University of Singapore, the top 1 university in Asia, and is also a graduate of UK's University of Warwick. Let's welcome onto the stage the Chief Scientific Officer at Farsana, Dmitry Mihailov. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Ms. La.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that. I would like to introduce from Farsana.
Yeah,
Islam.
I can introduce me. So yeah, hi guys.
Thank
Hi,
you.
guys. Yeah, my name is Islam. I'm actually CBDO at Farsana. Yeah, it's honor to me to represent Dr. Dmitry
No
and all his
worries.
achievements. But yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank
Yeah,
you
all
very
good,
much. We're looking forward to hearing more from it. And the lovely lady here in our panel, I would like to also introduce the co-founder of Mixed Marvel and the co-founder of Rangers Protocol, Mary Ma. Hi, Mary. Would you like to
Hi.
introduce yourself to our audiences?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So it's a great honor to become the panelist here, and I'm so happy to see Johnny. We've been long time no see. It's like since back to 2019, right, in Korea. So yeah, Mixed Marvel, our core team are from traditional game industry, including Ubisoft, Tencent, Shanghai Network. So we've been doing games for over 16 years, and also we have our own studio during the mobile game phase, and won several global rewards like Cologne Game Show, Tokyo Game Shows, and also our game ranked #1 on 61 regions and countries. And also we do the publishing for some mobile games to be published globally. So we enter into the crypto since 2017 and developed our first app, which is Hyper Dragons, on 2018 and surpassed the Crypto Kitties on the same year. So, well, we've been doing a lot of experiments in this industry for during the last 5 years, and now we are so happy to see that the gaming, the crypto game, the Web3 games has already been growing. The community has already growing so big. And since this year, we start to do the investment, incubation, and publishing. So yeah, we're looking forward to welcome more business partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mary. So now let's talk about the games that you are doing. And of course, what are the trends to look out for this 2023? So 2022 was a year of continuous innovation and building for a lot of games. Do you think that would continue in 2023? Can we start off with the lady, of course?
Okay, sure. Absolutely. We are really, seeing bold and promising of the whole industry because according to our research, so during the Q3 of 2022, actually 92% of all the funding events happen in games. So absolutely, I think there will be more games coming up in the next year or 2 years. And also there is a huge trend for the high quality content to grow here. So yeah, we see, both, especially in Asia, we see a lot of giants like Tencent in China, NetEase in China, and also we made in Korea, Netmarble, and NCSoft. All these big companies, they all feel extremely interesting in the Web3 games. So absolutely, I think even though users are complaining about the boring gameplays, the short life cycles of the Web3 games, but we absolutely believe that it will change dramatically during the next 1 to 2 years. A lot of great games they're going to launch.
Yeah, I'm amazed by how many Korean companies have been bringing AAA quality games into the platform. How about you, Islam? What are you looking forward to, and what are the trends you are seeing this 2023?
Yeah, I totally agree with the lady. So the thing is, Web3 market is struggling at the moment, yeah, as we know. But we about the games, first of all. And as you say now, a lot of companies, including our, building like AAA quality games. So this type of games is all about enjoy and like first of all about game. But gamers didn't have a market, right? They have a good quality games. So I think for sure we will keep building.
Definitely. I mean, we saw how it has changed quite quickly months ago. It started with like very easy flash games in the Web3, but now we're seeing so many AAA quality games. And speaking of Judy, you actually worked with Come To Us, and you've worked on quite a lot of mobile games. What are you guys bringing into in terms of quality here into the trends in Web3?
So I think going back to my experience at Come To Us and like maneuvering the teams, the production team into smartphone gaming, I don't know how many of you have played like Doodle Jump or Flappy Birds back in 2009 and 11, right? Because those games made a few $100 million to $1 billion back then, right? And I think the current game flows that are coming out are more towards those kind of games, like trying to adapt to what a smartphone kind of does and like using the gyro sensors and the features of the phone. And I think a lot of the game studios that are coming out, and these are large AAA game studios as well, they're kind of maneuvering towards that mentality. So there's going to be a big trend of these AAA games coming out for sure. But there's a different wave that I'm expecting to see probably next year and the next year is like some of the indie developers or even the small studios that are thinking about what is native crypto games. What is something that is different because it's a blockchain game and because it has all the different building blocks that a Web3 platform should have. And a really well game, a game that is designing all these elements into a game probably will do much better, much better than most of these AAA games. That's how I'm kind of seeing.
I love that. How about you, Ryan? Since you guys are an entire team with cohesive experiences from multiple known developers from Web2 games, what are you guys bringing here into the Web3?
So the difference between Web2 and Web3 is that whenever you launch a game, you start the marketing from the beginning. Rather, in Web2, kind of like there's a lot of production and game development, and only when it's completely polished does the marketing begin. And that's like one of the biggest differences where when you engage a community from the beginning, the community has skin in the game, they want to be a part of the growth of the game, and that's actually what makes Web3 gaming very lucrative. And when you kind of look at the history of gaming, you know, like 50 years ago, everyone paid to play games, whether it was like off of a Game Boy console or going to the arcade and paying a couple dollars. And then in 2010, something very special happened where games became free. So if you used to pay for games and then games became free, the most logical step is that in the future of gaming, which I believe will start in 2023, there will definitely be different ways to monetize off of games.
I love that. Now we would like to talk about the technologies into the future here in 2023. Will interoperability eventually be given more importance than decentralization in Web3? What do you think about that, Mary?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. But to be honest, I think it's not. They are not growing vertically. It's rather than it will be parallel to my understanding. So because the interoperability, we call this thing is more related with the interoperability between all these NFTs. Like we all hope that if I own an asset, like it's an NFT and it can be used, but in the different games. Many people wish that, or the developers say that. But actually, I think this more related with the business model. So, for example, if I developed a game, and but I think I have some target audience is existing in some other games, probably I will allow them to use the particular NFT, or I can verify that you are the owner and you are my target user. You can also enjoy all the rights in my game. So in terms of the interoperability, I think it's more complicated than the business model level. So if we look into the blockchain technology, it will be all related with the interoperability between different chains. So the most ideal way will be one smart contract in a particular blockchain. They can call other smart contracts directly, spontaneously. But to be honest, in terms of the technology, that won't be so soon, I would say. But among the EVM compatible family, probably there will be can realize this faster. But if it's different infrastructure, that will be really difficult to do so. So I think maybe in the next 5 years, like with more experiments and innovation, probably we can do this way. So the user can enjoy a more unified experience between different chains, different games. But now I think that there are still so many gaps to be filling. And in terms of decentralization, I think that's the spirit of Web3. That's what we need to consist with, and that's how we are ensuring the true ownership of all these assets, and we can keep different innovation can be happening here. Yeah, so that's what I think.
How about you, Islam?
Yeah, answering the question about technologies that we're seeing will be in the trends in 2023. From our side, I will be talking about our strong side. So we implementing AI-based technologies to the game. So yeah, we believe that artificial intelligence-based technologies will be a future of the Web3, and it has to be important part of all the market. So what we're actually doing is implementing that technologies to give players more entertainment in-game. For example, like, I didn't have to introduce our technology. So we have, for example, Helmet, which is exchanging information about your emotions with the teammates in the game. So whenever like players playing the game, they have an aura on the characters, and the aura color is changing depending on their emotions. So I believe like that kind of technologies will add like more value to our market. And it will be like significant. This is what I think about that.
Wow, I've never heard of a game that changes based on emotions. That's quite interesting. And how about you, Junie?
So when it comes to interoperability, our thesis is that it's not about the assets from the game, but it's more about, identifying what can be interoperable. So some of the layers in blockchain, I guess, that can be interoperable is, for instance, a user's identity. So like in Web 2, everyone belongs to Facebook. Or if you're playing a Web 2 game, you have your identity there, which is gridlocked to an account. For a Web 3 game, you own that account. Your wallet contains most of the assets of that game, and you're free to take that away from the game anytime you want because you have full ownership. So what's interoperable is the account you have and all the assets and all the stamps that you have collected within that wallet. And that piece is probably the only thing that is interoperable, because if I say my asset is interoperable with another game that I have nothing to do with, it is impossible for that game to take that asset in and suddenly develop a game around that economy. It is close to impossible to do that and say, guys, my asset will be meaningful in another game which I don't really control at all. So, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of these layers that everyone needs to do their research and look into. But I think it'll start from identifying what is interoperable and what is not.
How about you, Ryan? What do you think about this?
So whenever we think about interoperability, it's actually very synonymous with a versatility. Like, what is the use case of this asset? And so interoperability is actually something we've been thinking very deeply about at Big Time Studios for the last year. And what we've done is we've created an asset, so you can kind of think about it as like an empty piece of land, real estate, effectively. And we call that asset space. And as we were kind of developing our economy, we realized that different types of players play the games for different reasons. You know, some just want to kick back and have a good night with their friends. Others want to collect the rarest items, and then while others just want to collect the token. So a lot of players are playing the game for different reasons, and how can you make that idea interoperable for them? And so what we've done is with one asset, you can do many different things. So you can build on top of it, which in that form, it's an interoperability, right? So maybe one player, they care about, hey, I have a lot of low-level skins, and I want to craft them to the highest level one. And so that's one type of interoperability. The next one would be, maybe I only care about the token. Well, great. Have a time warden and build a time warden, and as you play, you have the token through that method. So that's kind of how we think about interoperability. And then in regards to decentralization, I think that is a incredibly important idea in the Web3 space. And how it works is that, like, if you have one person that owns all the assets, effectively, when you have an open economy, they've monopolized it. And that's not what you want. In an open economy, you want things to be fair and you want things to be transparent. So the more decentralized your assets are, the higher probability that you'll be able to find the true market value.
And our last question, as developers, do you guys think that cross-chain platforms can change the entire landscape and outlook of Web3 developers?
Yeah, absolutely. A cross-chain platform is very important for the whole industry. Because I think everybody is talking about the liquidity, the lack of liquidity of the NFTs. But I think in terms of the technology, a cross-chain platform is important because we can be able to trade all these different assets on the same platform. But also, I think it's related to the business model itself, because like what Johnny has said, the interoperability is not saying that the full interoperability is a good thing. We need to, differ from the business model, from the more fundamental logic of the business. So what is able to and what should be able to have these interoperability. So, in most of the business models, the assets within the particular gamers are tending to trade all these assets between different gamers on the same game. So that is why most of the game, they have their in-game platform for this trading, because that's more unified experience. You do not want your user to log out to another third-party platform to trade and then go back to the game. So that's absolutely, doesn't make any sense for the users to do the more steps. So what I think the interoperability will happen among more the business models, like building a new IP. For example, the game, they have issues their own NFTs is more related with IP, and it can allow you, like, give you the CCO, the full rights to build everything. And this kind of IP derivatives, they can, merchants, they can be traded during this unified platform. That will be more meaningful than, just to talk about a cross-chain platform. I think that's more related with the real business itself. Okay.
And how about you, Islam?
So yeah, I fully agree that cross-chain platforms is very important to the Web3 space. But yeah, when it comes to cross-chain, all the time it comes to bridges, to all the companies with bridges. And of course, first question is of all companies starting with the world of bridges is security. So once someone will build something like very well secured, so like all the work of the companies that they build it in the years will not disappear in one day. If they have that guarantee, for sure, cross-chain will be something like more like something important at the moment.
All right, and as we wrap up this panel, I want to ask a few more questions from Ryan and Judy. What is your last message for our Filipino audiences here, Ryan? Like one takeaway advice that they can bring home with them after this talk. Can we start with you, Ryan?
So if you're here, you're already doing something right. We believe that in the future, it's always going to be community driven. So my piece of advice would be to get more engaged, be more involved. This is a great first step if you're just coming here, and there's always ways to be more active in the community.
Thank you very much, Ryan. How about you, Junie?
Yeah, I think everyone here is at the right place because Philippines is basically the center for Web3 games, and that's where a lot of the user adoption is happening. One thing I do want to kind of comment is like, don't look for something that's too flashy. We're really, really early in the industry. Look for something that is building beneath the surface because just because it looks great on the outside, it doesn't mean it looks beautiful in the inside. And when it comes to tech, blockchain, crypto, there's so many tech going around like beneath the surface, and that's what you should be looking into more. And it can be a lot of studying and research, which probably will be fun because it's linked to your assets as well.
Yeah, from my side, it's like I'm a first time in the Philippines, so I'm kind of shocked how you guys are involved into Web3 and crypto. This is my first time. Of course, we all hear about that from Philippines, but when you feel it, when you see it, it's like a whole another thing. So guys, just keep building what you're building and keep building industry. So good luck to you. It's beautiful country.
Yeah.
And Mary?
Yeah, me too. It's my first time in Philippines as well. So I absolutely agree what you feel. So I'm really shocked about all this great atmosphere here. And I'm keeping talking to people that I feel I'm in a big family. And the most important thing for a family is to have a good parents. So I think YGG and the blockchain space and also all these partners, they are just like the great daddy and mother here. They are taking care of everybody. Gabby, Peter, everybody's super nice. So I truly believe that the future is community driven, and the Philippines absolutely have a great community here. So my philosophy is to do the right thing with the right people. So I truly believe that they are the right people, and please continue to being like this. I absolutely believe that you guys will be huge.
Thank you very much to our panelists. Give them a round of applause. Thank you very much, everyone.